So now the liberal media is talking about Ben Carson, a Ben Carson speech from 1998, right? Nearly 20 years ago at a commencement speech where he gave his theory on the use of the pyramids in ancient Egypt. He said they, according to the Bible, maybe they could have been for grain storage. Now, this has been something that has been all over all of these liberal blog sites all day today. And today is what's today? Thursday. It's been all over the blog sites. I'm not going to be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw this story be the lead. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw this on the nightly news cycle. The 4 p.m. to 6:30. I wouldn't be surprised. And, it's really just desperate reaching. I mean, really, pyramid storage, grain storage. Come on. That's what we're going to talk about. Grain storage from 1998. That's what you're going to try to expose Ben Carson for saying. Come on. That's weak. I mean, if you're going to dig up some dirt, at least let it be good. I'm not interested in no grain storage. Who cares? Doesn't everybody have a theory about what the pyramids are for? Nobody really knows. People say that they were used for burial. Why have something that's that big for burial? And why have it be so big outside of the ground? You bury somebody. The definition of bury, you put them under the ground, not on top of the ground with something else on top of that that's gigantic to the point where it's so big and it's so massive and it's so well constructed, we can't figure out how to build it today. If we can't even build that today, then why do we think we know what the use of it was for? We don't know anything. So anything that we say is going to be a theory. And we've always had theories about the pyramids and ancient Egypt. You turn the History Channel, you get these shows with gigantic ratings. And I'm going to put this meme right here. And when you see this guy, you're going to know who he is. You see him on all across the internet. He's a gigantic meme. People know what he's from. You watch that show because we're interested in hearing theories about the pyramids. See, liberals don't even understand what they're doing. Liberals are like attack dogs. Okay? They just bite and attack at the behest of their master. But they don't even understand what they're doing. An attack dog, he has no concept of what he's actually doing or why he's doing it. He's just, all he knows is he's been trained to do it. And when the master gives him the command, he jumps into action. This is what liberals are doing. But see, what they don't understand is they're actually helping the cause, because really this makes them more relatable. Because, hey, I'm a regular guy sitting in my house watching TV. I'm not really into politics, but I watch the History Channel every now and again. And I like to see what they talk about with the pyramids and the theories and alien abductions and stuff like that. I mean, I like sci-fi, And Ben Carson talking about, or they could have been used for storage, for grain storage. Wow. That's an interesting point of view there. I didn't think about it like that. Well, people don't know about pyramids. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. But pyramids have a pyramid above the ground and also below the ground. It's the same size up above and below. So if it's about burial, why not bury them underneath the ground in the subterranean, in the underground pyramid? Why not bury them there? So maybe he had a point about grain storage. See, this is going to make him be more relatable to the general public. It's not going to make him be less relatable, because of the simple fact that the average American is not really into politics. He doesn't really know a lot about what's going on in Washington, D.C. He just knows about what he does every day. He goes to work, he comes home, or he's trying to get a job, or he's raising his kid. He's there with his kids. His wife is there. She's raising kids. She's working. She's doing what she's doing. They're not interested in all of the back and forth, stupid games that they play in Washington, D.C. They want somebody that they can relate to, somebody that's more of a real person like they are. And most real people like to think about things that they don't know about and to kind of explore in their mind a little bit. You have a conversation, you just talk about things that you really don't know. And a lot of Americans like to do that. A lot of people like to do that. We're curious. Curiosity is a human trait. And Ben Carson tapped into that when he said about the grain storage theory. liberals are trying to attack him like, oh, you don't agree with archaeologists say that it was used for burial. Well, I mean, are archaeologists the end all be all? Do they have all the answers? I mean, if archaeologists know what it was used for, then why can't they also say how the pyramids are built? See? A thinking person would think like that, but liberals don't think. Peace.
You know, I think about some of the things that Joseph did as the prime minister of Egypt. You know, here was a man who was basically able to save the entire world with his big thinking. Building grain reserves that would last for 7 years of famine. Can you imagine having the technology, the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to do that? We can't do that now. He was able to do that back then. Now, my own personal theory is that Joseph built the pyramids in order to store grain. Now, all the archaeologists think that they were made for the pharaoh's graves, but you know, it would have to be something awfully big when you stop and think about it. And I don't think it would just disappear over the course of time to store that much grain. And when you look at the way the pyramids are made, with many chambers that are hermetically sealed, they would have to be that way for a reason. And, you know, various scientists have said, well, you know, there were alien beings that came down and they had special knowledge, and that's how they were. You know, it doesn't require an alien being when God is with you. You know, and that's really the key. People may not even be able to explain what it is that you're accomplishing, but they don't have to be able to explain it when God is there.